areas that Raintree focuses on, which is around integrated rural development and also disability and mental health. I would like to really understand from you, Lena, and from Vivek, what was, how did you go about choosing these areas specifically as a family? And Vivek it has been somebody who has suffered from mental health issues, but is now out of it, and it's a cause now very dear to his heart. So I'd love to hear a little bit about how how these two kind of focus areas emerged, and also what are some of the challenges that you're trying to solve for in these areas. So happy to hear your views, Vivek and Lena.
Okay, I think I'll go first and then let
Yeah,
the
go for it.
jump in. So in our initial discussions, like I told you, we tried to come to a common agenda in terms of our philanthropic agenda for the family. We had several moderated discussions run by very known names in the field. And the common cause, I mean, Vivek talked about planting 1 billion trees and carbon sequestration, and that is his agenda even today. Abha talked about conservation and the man-animal conflict and the need for, you know, jungles and wildlife to and human societies bordering that to live together in harmony. I had done a lot of research on rural projects in Maharashtra in particular, and my realization was also that you can't remove the plight of the rural population. You cannot separate it from the fact that it originates with the degradation of the land, the climate change, the erratic rainfall patterns, and so on and so forth, the population pressures, a bunch of environmental and socioeconomic factors, also in India, a large part cultural factors, which come all culminate, but to bring this intense amount of migration that we see. Every rural youth's dream is to be in the city doing no matter what job he or she may get. And a country whose entire country, 70% of us are rural India. And if our collective aspiration is to be somewhere else doing something else, away from our homes and away from traditional industries which our village follows, then that's not a recipe for a happy nation at all. And I think all three of us coincided in this, that we all brought that back to the environment and climate change in our own ways. And that's what brought together our integrated rural development program in the form that it is today. So far as mental health and disability, we've seen both up close in the family as sufferers and caregivers. And we have been very open about it. We are very open, we don't hide it. We don't milk it for sympathy. We just go about our day because one of us has a slightly different normal day than the rest of us do. But it's for somebody with disability or mental health, their day is as normal as yours is mine. And you have to understand that normal is a very broad definition and different normals work for different people. And so from that point of view, what we are trying to work on is a program which makes these, outlier perspectives, if you may call that, from the traditional definition of normal, also be brought into the normal. Just as today we think HIV positive is no big deal or LGBT is no big deal, and we will accept, as normal because there's been 20, 30 years of discourse around it and everybody's sensitized. We hope to get mental health and disability to that point, or at least initiate the conversation where other people take it up and take it bigger, so that our normal includes mental health and disability on a daily basis as well. Coming to Vivek, Vivek, you want to talk about your personal experiences with mental health and disability both?
Right. So I will also talk about the integrated rural development because it's very dear to me. So my focus on the environment is very simple. We live on it. There's no escaping that. There is no earth too. There is no other land on which to grow crops or get fish from, any of that. I always felt that it seems not very sensible to take that and put it in your wallet and call it wealth, because you have a big wallet but nowhere to stand on. And that's why I want to do things like a billion trees. So what we realized was that rural India was the first area of our country to feel the brunt of um, our our actions as a whole, because when in the city there is environmental degradation, you get flooding, you get increased disease, etc. But in rural India, you literally cannot live there anymore. There's no way to grow enough food, there is no way to make enough money. Everyone deserves nice things, there's no way to get that cash to buy them. There's no way to do any of this, so they have to leave. So that's why we went to the countryside for our sustainable integrated rural development program, so that it's you can have, just as Raintree says that you must work, if you're doing something that's based on the heart, you must use your head to make it smarter, because there's no space to not be smart. We have a lot of work to do. And similarly, if you're doing something which involves your mind, for example investing, you should do it with a heart as well, because we're human beings, we're not calculating machines. You should care about things, and we do, we care about many things. So when we went to the countryside, in a similar way, we thought the environment is what has degraded and forced these people to leave the home that they love. So when we do sustainable integrated rural development, sustainable and integrated means that you take care of the environment as well as the people. Because the easiest way to get rich otherwise for a countryside person is to simply take things from the environment and sell them. But that's not going to work out. That's been done, and now we're seeing the results. Everybody leaves the countryside because there are droughts, there are silted up springs, there are wells that are filled with mud, there are irregular rains, irrigation patterns are ruined, hillsides fall down. All of these things happen simply because we tried to get rich by just taking. So environment and people will work together, and everyone gets better like that. Now, the mental health and disability is the other vertical that Raintree Foundation does. And that, I think, comes from more personal reasons. So on the disability perspective, my mother has had, I think, 5 or 6 surgeries by now, because to correct, various joint issues and whatnot. So what we learned firsthand is that it takes a lot of effort to make a person with disabilities life better, because everyone deserves to have not just a life but a good life. And there was a lot we had to do. It's small things like how to get somebody up 3 stairs when she's in a wheelchair, or how to maneuver somebody into and out of a bathroom when the doors are never wide enough for aesthetic reasons. And we found a lot of issues, and we thought, why deal with this? There are such small changes you can do to make people's lives better. So the disability is meant to destigmatize it, and mental health is the other half of our vertical. And mental health comes from direct experience. I was diagnosed with clinical depression in 2013, and it was extremely severe. I thought I would have to miss, I would have to skip a grade in school. I was in 11th standard. I thought I would have to skip a grade and do it the next year when I'm better and things like that. And the reason that I did not have my life, shunted aside is simply because people around me were very, their ears were open. So my mother was very supportive. My sister was very supportive. And through them, we could talk to my school, which fortunately was also very supportive. They made some special provisions, and I managed to have a life. Now, once again, you realize that things like depression are just ordinary. If you break a hand or a leg, it is very obvious that you are hurt in some way, that you have a problem with your body. When it's in the mind, for some reason, people think it's a whole different sphere. There's something spiritual about it or mystical about it, but it's just a disease. You would take medicine for malaria, for example, and you would do physiotherapy for a sprained back. But if it's mental illness, you can take medicine for those at times, and you can do therapy for the same thing. it's not fundamentally different. So what I realized, especially with both physical disabilities and with mental health issues, is that fundamentally stigma is inefficient. It's a waste of time. It does not feed you. It does not bring you love from people near you. It does not make your air more breathable. It does not give you any benefits. Stigma is a waste of time. So what I did personally was to, after getting this foundational help from my family and my school, was simply to be open. So when I joined college, I would tell everybody, hey, this is what I have. This is how it feels, because no one talks about how depression feels. And this is what might happen to me from time to time. And I just told everybody, anyone who came and asked me or who wanted to know, I would just tell them. And as that went on over the years, I found myself being approached quietly by many, many people who were feeling certain things. For example, what is least talked about with depression is that it often, in many cases, will be less about the sadness and more about the absolute absence of feelings, of positive feelings. You will not want things, you'll feel numb, and you will not know why this is happening. So once I said this with my mouth, I spoke about it to people with no fears. I found myself approached by a lot of people, and by now, 7 years later, I've sent maybe 20 or 30 odd people just in my surroundings to get aid in certain ways and help them out. And they're a lot better now. And that's just the thing we feel good about. So we thought it is honestly ridiculous that such a small misconception can be so prevalent. So Raintree Foundation can do its part to fix these misconceptions about disability and mental health. That's why we have this vertical.
Vivek,
Quality of life, really.
I can just sum up again as the adult in the house at that point. I mean, I'm seeing Vivek make a sea of change among his peers. And we thought if we put some resources and back that, more families and more children and more people would have that safe place he did for a number of years till he could bring himself out of it. And we thought, why not put in some serious resources behind this and try and do what one man can do, institutionalize it and try and do it on a bigger scale so that we start changing the world. A few more people at a time and not just one man army trying to change perceptions. So that's where our vertical on disability and mental health comes in, and we all of us are very, very highly committed to this vertical because we've had such close personal experiences with both, right? Yeah, back to you.
I mean, I'm just floored by Vivek's, the way in which he's kind of looked at this, both one, because he's had to go through it, but also to be able to look outside into the problem and then try and figure out how is it that you need to address these issues. And I can certainly say with a situation like COVID, which I think has in some ways also brought about a little bit more bit more of a lens onto mental health,
Yes.
because I think up until a couple of years ago, it wasn't even recognized as actually being an illness. So to the way in which you've put it, Vivek, I think certainly I would hope that over the years, I think what the foundation is doing, Raintree is doing, to advance at least the thinking around this. And I also like the way in which you put removing that, the stigma was just a waste of time in
Yes.
many ways, which in some ways sum that up very well. And of course, to the earlier point around, the integrated rural development, it kind of reminded me of what Ban Ki-moon had said, that you can't have a plan B because there is no planet B at the end of the day. So very, very relevant in that sense.